Hey, well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you joining in, seeing what we're up to today. Well, if the planning for this video goes well, you would have seen me putting in some posts and some of this fencing yesterday. I actually did that late last evening, and I was actually using my phone. I'm still having issues. I'm unable to record audio basically through a microphone with my phone, so that's why I kind of been not putting out a lot of videos. Using Brenda's phone right now, my wife's phone, to make this video, and it's just, I think it just makes the quality of the video a little bit better if I can be talking while I'm working and whatnot. So anyway, so the project today is, you saw I put up the rest of this fencing, as I just mentioned, around the garden. Maybe too little, too late. Brenda did get a good portion of her garden eaten by some deer while we were away for a few days recently, which is unfortunate. She works very hard at her garden. I feel bad that I wasn't able to get this fencing up, and so I'm doing my best to try and get it taken care of now, and hopefully the garden will rebound. We're in August, so there's still some time, and they did some damage to some of the plants, but most of those, like the string beans and whatnot, have a chance to rebound, and hopefully we'll get something. We also have another garden back here. This garden back here doesn't have any fencing around it. We just put this one in last year. This is only the second year on this garden, and they got to this one too. You can actually see they got the beets right here, but those will grow back, beet greens. So they picked the lettuce and some of their favorite vegetables, I guess you'd say, again, which I feel kind of, it's too bad. We're gonna work on trying to figure out how to address that issue with the deer, and we don't hunt, but who knows, maybe we'll take it up, huh? At any rate, so I'm going to be working on, I got one more post to put in on the back of this fence right over here that we never had in. I'd only put in some grade stakes at one point, and those just didn't work out so well. I've got another 4x4 post I'm going to dig a hole for, and then I'm going to go ahead and build the gate right here. And I put a gate opening here on this side of the garden, although there's one, if you can see it right over here in the front of the garden. Originally that's where it was. I'm putting one over here on the side because I wanted to have access to, obviously, the garden that's right over on this side here without having to go through the front of the gate. Sorry for spinning around so much, but the front of the gate over here and all the way around to this part of the garden here. So we'll get the camera set up, and I'll be over there digging a new hole. Shouldn't take me too long. Get that in, get that fence sturdied up, and then we'll go ahead and start making this gate entrance. All right. I'm lucky it's really sandy in this area for the most part, unless you hit a big boulder, but that's rare. And then down below, the sand here is ledge, but that varies depending on where you're digging in the yard. Sometimes it's pretty shallow, and other where it's popping right up the top of the ground, and other times it's down below. But I'm only going down a couple feet. I got 8-foot 4x4s. I'm having a hard time with this fencing. And they're pine. We use pine from here on the property, which of course we're going to try and use as much of our own wood. I've used pressure treated before we got the mill, and we initially built this garden a couple of years ago, or a few years ago now. We had gone out and bought some pressure treated, and that's what we used. But this time I used some of our own. Oh, and I think I just hit a rock. I suppose we're going over the ledge. But on this hole digger here, they actually give you a little ruler. Tells you how deep. This one here, oh, I'm plenty. Yeah, perfect. All right, grab my post. Alright, there's the last post. I gotta go get some gravel. You're riding along in the wheelbarrow. Hopefully I won't drop you. You're riding along in the wheelbarrow. Hopefully I won't drop you. Take two. I put some weight on it this time. That's pretty funny. Anyway, Brenda doesn't know I'm doing this project. She knows it's gonna get done, but she didn't know I was taking care of it last night when she went to work. And she's sleeping now, so she'll find out when she gets out here again. A few shovel loads should do it. Doesn't really take a lot. One more. Good enough. Another ride in the wheelbarrow. We got a warm one today, but we got a nice breeze. And I can't stay out in the sun too long, but if I can finish up this little project, I can turn to something else in the shade afterwards. Like making this gate, I can do inside and then bring it out here. Okay, the final step would be to make a gate for over in that opening over there. And this one here I built several years ago, and it seems to be holding out pretty well, so I might as well just copy it. Nothing fancy. I just working with some materials I had laying around the yard at the time. Of course, now I have a little bit more lumber, and I could do something a little fancier. And maybe at some point I will, but like I said before, this gate door has been working well for several years. So I'm gonna copy that, and we'll put one over on this side and get some measurements. And we can surprise Brenda when she finally gets to see that her garden will be protected from the deer. All right. All right, let's see what we got for lumber here. This is all a pile of 1 inch, but I'd have to rip this stuff down. And let's see if I got anything else. I got a pile over here, miscellaneous stuff. I don't see anything. Certainly stuff I can rip down and work with, but I'll tell you what, it's pretty nice when you can walk out in your own backyard and shop for the pieces of wood you need for a project, or be able to make the pieces that you need. I'm very fortunate that I can do that with the sawmill. And this pile here is just a pile of like the wood slab processing area, all the leftover slabs and whatnot that everybody has a hard time getting rid of, including myself. So I'm just kind of processing it and putting it in these bags right now. I'll figure out what to do with them later on, but in the meantime, what I do here is when I throw scraps of wood, if I see something that I might be useful later on at some other project or something, I always throw it in the back of the pile here, figuring maybe I can use it for something else. Yeah, that'll work right there. All right, got some materials here. I'm gonna have to do some ripping because I want some 6-inch pieces. Got a few older pieces here, but I'll see what I can make out of the newer piece. This is some stuff I had laying around, kind of older. Still works fine, solid, but I'll do what I can out of this one piece, and whatever I don't have enough for, I'll use the rest of this. Just some extra, this is 14 inch. I had to cut this down to a couple of 6-inch pieces. I'm gonna break out the table saw here and we'll get this ripped down. Okay, now there's my frame. I'm gonna go get the rest of the fencing I had left over. I had a little piece left over. I'll cut it to size, staple that on there. What do you think, Ellie? Well, Brenda hasn't seen it yet, but I did get it done. I don't have the hinges for the gate door. I gotta go out and get some. But I got the door on, just got it up there. Managed to put in a few pads here just to give it an entrance, match the one in the front over here. And other than that, there, that project is now done. I'll get the hinges put on there the next day or so. And we'll have to do something to level out these poles and probably put a cap on them so they don't get all split. I got some lights on some of them and just some caps. Actually, these are lights here and these are just caps. And those are kind of nice, but that'll be the finishing touch at some point. And other than that, we'll move on to the next project. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for joining me. Appreciate you watching the video, subscribing, thumbs up, and we got another good project starting with the sawmill tomorrow. Hopefully get some logs on there. I'll see you then. Take care, bye.